It seems like everywhere you look right now, AI is being hyped up about changing our lives for better or worse. Today, I want to take a look at using AI, namely ChatGPT, for music production, because I want to see, is ChatGPT and AI in general a helpful assistant in the music process, or is it just a bunch of hype? So I'm going to ask it to give a chord progression, a BPM, and then a general outline of how to structure the song, see where it goes with that. And then I'm also going to use my best discretion in terms of what works and what doesn't work, because I have a feeling AI will be helpful, but we'll need the human element. So let's see how helpful this can be. So the first thing I did was type in a prompt on ChatGPT, and I kept it really simple. I just asked it, make a retrowave track, and it came back with a ton: BPM, a key, the chord progression, and then it gave a pretty basic structure of how to start with the arpeggios, things like that. So let's move over to the circuit, and we're gonna just first put a kick, because I like to use that as a click, and then I'm gonna build an arp using notes from the first key. And then I'm just gonna resample that into the SP so that I can open up another space for the circuit. Then I'm gonna put in a pad on the SP. And I'm gonna drop it an octave. It's one of my favorite things to do. It really colors the sound and gives it much more grit. I like that, especially with the retrowave and things like that. And then I tested out resampling the ARP with 404 vinyl sim. I liked it. I don't think I ended up keeping it. I realized I need to be in C minor because that's the key I had the circuit set to. So I just asked ChatGPT, hey, transpose the song into C minor, and it did it. So now we're just gonna make some bass. And then it needs some additional drums, so I'm putting in snare, some hi-hats, and you can even ask ChatGPT to design the drums and it will give you patterns. I haven't had much luck with good patterns, but it is there. And then I'm also just gonna add some percussion, and I'm gonna make those into ghost notes. So first I'm finding the percussion I want, and then I'm just gonna tweak the sound a little bit. With that tweaked, I'm just adding in a basic one, and then I'm actually gonna mess with those sounds, and we're gonna use probability to create variation in the drums using these ghost notes that are a little quieter in the mix, and the probability on the circuit means that they'll only trigger every once in a while, so it makes the drums sound a little more varied and human, despite being so locked on the circuit grid. And I felt like it needed a melody, so I'm gonna throw in a melody. And after some effects and a couple octave swaps, we landed here. And I really like how this sounds, so I made two different versions. One on the SP so it can trigger in a pattern so I don't have to play it, and then another that's less complex that stays on the circuit so I can start the song building. And then finally I'm just building the patterns for the track on the SP because the pattern's already built on the circuit, but I need that to match the SP. So there you have it. There's the game changer ChatGPT in action with music production. Is it really a game changer? I don't think so. I think it falls right in the middle between everything it's being hyped up to be and being just a giant nothing. I think there are uses for it. Namely, for me, what I've found with ChatGPT or AI in general is that it's a great starting point, a genesis device sort of. So if I have an idea or a type of mood in mind that I want to convey with the song, if I don't have the time to sit at a keyboard or sit with MIDI for a very long time, just changing things around, I can throw the idea as a text into ChatGPT and it will create something that's usually not exactly where I want it to be, but I could play around with it on the keyboard and see what works, or I could throw it into an app like Tonally, where it generates a chord progression and then you can go to each chord in the progression and change the intervals, change the keys. It's a lot of fun to do, so that's what I like. It gets past that option paralysis of a blank canvas, and I really appreciate that. I don't think it's this game-changing thing on its own. The human element is still very important, and I think key to making anything it generates work. I just used it really as a Genesis device, using my own intuition and feel as I was building this song to craft it a bit more and create a song I actually enjoy and am proud of, rather than just something that bleeps and bloops and what is supposed to work harmonically and rhythmically, but not quite. Now I'm curious to hear from you. Have you been using AI in your music production process? Let me know in the comments how you're using it and what AI you've been using. I think this is something very important to talk about and be open about, and a spot that we can all learn from, because I don't think AI is going anywhere, and rather than get behind the curve, I think it's good to at least know its uses, understand what it is, maybe why you might want to use it or maybe not use it, and then go from there making an informed decision. And if you want to see another method for getting through difficult starting points or writer's block without the use of AI, check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.